All right, and welcome back to another Megatron draws. Hold on, camera's being weird. What the hell's going on? All right, it needs to be cleaned up or something. But hey, how's it going, everybody? We are back with another Megatron draws, and today we're going to be working on a little Valentine's piece, which is kind of did this. Well, I did this edit for the heart around it kind of at the last minute because I didn't really have anything planned for Valentine's Day because I was too busy on other things. But today we're going to be working on Aya from Green Lantern, the animated series. That's where she kind of got her main debut, and then she eventually got added into the comics. And yeah, she's a fun character. Also had a really interesting backstory in that cartoon, which we'll kind of talk about her backstory a little bit here. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. Just trying to figure out which kind of colors I want to use for her skin, because I don't really have a whole lot of green, at least the kind of shade that she usually had in the show. And I'm thinking about going with two different shades of green, one for her like sort of skin on her robotness, as well as like some of the. I also want to have some like lime green for like the lantern effects, like from the hands or her green aura around her. So I'm trying to figure out which color I want to really use for that. I think I'm going to go with the GO2. Seems like the closest one to her skin tone. Might need to use a little bit of lime green sort of colors, but yeah. Kind of go from there. So the 05 seems like a good one. That should work fine. Just trying to match the cartoon as much as possible here. Yeah, so move that. All right. Oops. All right. So I guess we'll start with the skin tones here. Obviously for the heart, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to add like a little bit of a space sort of scene within the heart, and then kind of keep the rest of it around her sort of white, and maybe put like an aura of green like around the actual heart. So that's kind of our goal here today. So I need to grab my reference. So I need to get a full view of her body, so to speak. All right, I think I went a little bit too. Let me just see something. Okay, so this part needs to be green, that part needs to be, gotcha. Start with the thighs. So a little bit of lore on her character, what she's all about, where she came from. Basically, in the cartoon, she was basically created by the Guardian Scar. And for those who are big fans of Blackest Night, you know who she is. She was the Guardian who was very instrumental in the Blackest Night event, and which they kind of hinted at a little bit in this in the cartoon a little bit, because there's a part where they visit her old like laboratory. And you can see like the book of the Blackest Night on one of her shelves there or whatever, like on her bookshelf or whatever in the scene there. It's a little Easter egg. But basically, she was created by this Guardian to be an artificial intelligence. I can't remember what her purpose was necessarily from the get-go, or at least what the original intention behind creating her was. But she basically was, well, an artificial intelligence, and then they kind of but they also gave her a little bit of life by using a portion of the entity that resides within the main sort of central power battery of the Green Lantern Corps. And so she basically became like a hybrid of sort of a robot, but also had like human emotions, so to speak. I'm just trying to see. Okay, so she must have a little bit of dark green in her. Okay, just trying to get the gist of her. But yeah, so when the Guardian kind of realized that she started developing more and more feelings and more, she started to adapt and whatnot, and started to have become more curious and all that, as one would if they were fully sentient. So she kind of tried to shut down the AI or Aya project, and eventually she was just kind of relegated for the time being as the navigator or navigation system for the Interceptor, which was kind of the spaceship Hal Jordan sort of pilots in the show, along with Kilowog and all that, as they go on their adventures and stuff. And obviously we see her fully develop a lot more in season 2. Because most of season 1, or not really season 1. Well, I kind of treat it as season 1 and 2 because there's 2 different arcs, like of the first season. You had the Red Lantern arc, which was the first half, and then you had the Anti-Monitor, the Manhunter arc, as sort of the other half of the series. So I kind of always kind of viewed it as 2 separate seasons. But yeah. And she obviously was she obviously was created to be a love interest for the other brand new character in the franchise, in the series, called Razor, who was a Red Lantern who had a moral compass, who didn't want to be a Red Lantern anymore. Like, he kind of realized that he always kind of hated Atrocitus from the get-go, but once he kind of met the Green Lanterns and they kind of, bonded and whatnot, they kind of joined sides and whatnot. And he kind of drew an interest in Aya, and then obviously he had also had a tragic past, because that's how the Red Lanterns usually work, is that they usually come from a tragedy in their lives, and that kind of sets them on their path to becoming a Red Lantern, or sets them down the path to becoming a rage field monster, which is what the Red Lanterns basically are. So, I'm stepping over the lines. I need to get my blender. My throat is fucking dry today. What's going on with that? I need to drink more. But yeah. Just quickly deal with that problem. Good thing her design is mostly white and stuff like that, so a lot of these mistakes I can easily fix up later on with some whiteout or Uni-ball or jelly roll pens. I'm kind of noticing there's like a white stripe here, not this black one. So I have to add that later on as well. Like in the middle, like connecting these 2 little circles here, and there's design here. But that's an easy fix, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm starting to like this a little bit more. Just gonna blend the leg here, the thigh, a little bit more. Just gonna zoom in just a little. I really wish this iPivo came with a zoom in function, but all right. Okay, just trying to see her symbol here. Oh, that doesn't help. Yeah, it doesn't help either. All right. Okay. Okay, so it's all white, not so usually because usually when I draw a green lantern, usually it's the symbol at the actual lantern part of our symbol that's green. But in this case, it's the the inside of the circle that's green. That's why it's kind of throwing me off here a little bit. But it's okay. And she's not really like a typical green lantern because she was obviously created. She was kind of created through the actual power battery and whatnot. So she's kind of already a green lantern by default. So she didn't really, so she doesn't actually have a ring or anything like that. She's kind of like just is. So. All right, just figure out where her arm goes. Okay, that would all be covered up by white. So just go like that. This would be our green bit. That's what all is over here. Now let's see her face. Okay. Trying to see her face here real quick. All right, so she's a little bit green showing off in her things here, but I'll probably go back in with the jelly roll here. I'll probably be using this a lot today. So I'll probably just use that for some like the little effects I can't really get with a brush pen or a Copic pen here. Let's grab her neckline. And see her legs real quick. All right, so it's all white mostly. There's some like little hints of dark green on her thighs here, but I'm not gonna do that for. I'm probably not gonna do that though, at least for this. Because there's a really thin line here. I didn't really think about. It's probably because I was using a different kind of sort of reference material when I originally drew her, so I can't really change that. But I could just like add like some little green dots, so to speak, popping out of a green energy light from the lanterns. Yeah, I'll kind of cover that bit there. Kind of blend the face a bit more. Now she has a blue eye actually, so I'll probably end up using a bluish green though, and that'll look a lot better. Okay. So I think 5 might be good here for a darker shade. Looks fun. All right. I can do too much. Just enough. All right. I think I might use the G000 actually for the lightest shade. Like a better term. Not give a better term. I think I'll use some like pinks and purples for the actual space. Just kind of give that Valentine sort of vibe. And I think it'll help her pop out a little bit more. The darker shade. Or with the pinks and purples. So. That should work out nicely. All right. Oop. Little arm there. And we'll bring out our GO2 again. And we'll kind of blend these two colors together to make it but much more uniform sort of look. So it fades more naturally. Can you not? Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm coming with the Geo 000 last. But yeah, this kind of made me realize I need to get more greens, different shades. My greens and my pinks are the ones that really need help, and my yellows and oranges. And kind of red, but usually and kind of blue, but for the most part I have what I mostly need. But yeah, when it comes to this, you never know. And I think I just missed the neck line. It's all good though. Oh, people are starting to come in now. Here, actually, I'll spin this around so you can see better. Not roll around. All right. Make sure it's focused still. All right. Blend that in. Okay. Then we'll pull out the G07, get a slightly darker shadow or shade going in. It'll kind of bring out the G17. But I'm not too sure I'll need it for this one. Yeah, I might. Shadow there. Little shadow on the chin there. All right. Oh, shit. Oh. All right. Guys, add a little bit of a shadow here by our little thigh here. Now we'll kind of just darken up the shade here. All right. Bring in the G17 now. Just add a bit darker shade of green. Then we can go in and add the G000, and hopefully that'll kind of bring it all together. Kind of final. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get a better angle here. Yeah, problem is it's not really balanced here. You know what? I weigh it down from the back. My camera here, I might be able to get it a little bit closer. Try this guy. There. That should work. You should be able to see it a little bit better now. Here, tilt this up just a little. There. But yeah, I probably should do more green lantern related characters at some point. So I really do love the lantern lore and stuff like that. Might have to do that for this December. Might do just a whole month of just lantern stuff. How about that? If we can manage it. Who knows what we might be doing next year. I'll do that later. Kind of darken her, give her a little bit of a sort of eyeshadow or eyeliner, a little bit, just to kind of give her a bit more depth on her design here. It'll also help the blue eyes sort of pop out a bit more. So you get that rolling. Just add a little shadow on the fingers. Here, let's go up here. And there. All right. Yeah, we'll kind of just use this GL 000, kind of bring it all together. Which I need a refill for, but the website I usually buy my Copics from didn't have it for some reason. I don't know if I like that color. Yeah, I don't think I like that. Maybe the YG11. Too much of the lime green. Not what I'm going for. Okay. Let's re-add the G02 then. By the way, I like the G000 for it. Just looks a little awkward, but that's okay. Might go in with the blender, just kind of lighten some things up. I think that'll help sort of balance that. Well, actually, kind of like that. Kind of works for me. All right, should be good there. Yeah, that's working out for me. I try like that. I think it'll all work out nicely. All right. Just want to blend that in just a little bit more. Just to make a much more smoother look. She had a very smooth looking, I mean, everyone kind of looks smooth in the cartoon, but she should have like a little bit more of a pristine sort of look. She is like an artificial intelligence and stuff like that. So. I'll keep that going there. Okay. Now I want to add that really quick dark green sort of effect that she kind of has, like in her little leg here. And there's supposed to be a line, not a dot here, so I'll just kind of go with that instead. So I was using a different image for reference for the original drawing, so I'm kind of just like stuck with it now, which is fine. Just a little detail. I don't see her feet. This is the reference I'm using. So, oh, there we go. Okay, let's see how it goes. Just kind of go like this, and go in. Add in the inks to it a little bit later. Just kind of go over the line there. That should be good. So I'm going to put a little bit darker shade, just add a little bit of a shadow to it. Just test out the waters, so to speak. I do so. And nope. Yeah, do this. And that should be good for that shade. Well, you know what? I'll add a little bit of a shadow onto the actual symbol. Just noticed that. It was missing. It's okay. Don't want to do too much because I want this symbol to kind of stand out a bit. But that should be good. Okay. So now I want to add the lime green effect I was talking about earlier for her actual, like, sort of some of the like for the light green that's going to come out of her arms and her hands here. So I think just took a reference real quick. See her hands. I'm thinking about shot of her palms, so it's kind of go with what I got off of memory. Like that. Kind of add a little bit of a glow onto the actual metal. I'll grab this guy. Okay. Do the same thing to the shoulder here. Okay. Now I think I'll just do really quickly, I'll just do the aura around her and the heart, just because I already have all my greens out, so I might as well go for it. So the YG03, because every lantern kind of has a basic sort of aura around them. Usually when they're in space, because it protects them from the vacuum of space, so to speak. So for obvious reasons. Just put that around. Can you not get in my way? All right. And after this, we should be able to move into the grays. So I think I'm going to go with some more some toner grays and a mix of sort of a mix of the toner and neutral grays, because I don't really have enough toner grays to do as much depth as I want to with the colors. So, or shade rather, because grays aren't necessarily a color. Grays and blacks and whites are all shades. Hey, Dead Man. How's it going, man? Good to see you. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to continue the same dark green effect for the arms here. I'll do that after this. After I do the aura around her. Yeah, I can't really stay long. Oh, no worries, man. No worries. The crash. Appreciate basketball. I'm about to crash. Yeah. No worries, man. While waiting on misses. No worries, man. I'm just glad you came. All right. Let's put a little aura around the actual heart. Just because. Oop. Let's thicken that up later. There we go. Into Fortnite. Yeah, we do get back to the Fortnites. It's been really busy with my art and work and stuff like that. So I'm mostly trying to play a lot of catch up this month, these past couple of months, because I did get a whole lot done last year, so that's what I kind of want to do with this year. Is just kind of really focus my art here. So. But yeah, we definitely need to make time for that. We definitely need to make time for some more Fortnite action at some point. All right. This pen is just dying on me. I'll put you away. Just add a quick sort of a gray or a green to kind of transition over into the actual space that I'm going to be creating for her. here. Actually, I might just do the space now, and then that way I can kind of take advantage of the alcohol markers before they fully dry up on the page. Because the gray tones are going to be really easy and really quick to do. So usually best to get the hard stuff done first. Okay, I'll pull some purples to show which one I want to use just yet. Well, kind of. I guess we'll just do like a mix of pinks and purples here. Maybe you. And maybe you. Okay, start with this guy. You know what? I need you. Use this as the base for the space, for lack of a better term. Hey, Grumpy Old Ninja. How's it going, man? Hal Jordan, no contest, exactly. Yeah, I'm a big Hal Jordan fan myself. So just add little pockets of light shining through, just kind of add a little bit more depth to the space I'm trying to create here, so to speak. All right, way too much. Hey, Mrs. Dadman, how's it going? First Hal, then we can talk Alan Scott, and then Jon Stewart and the rest. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool if they did an Alan Scott Green Lantern movie. Something different, you know. Or not in today's day and age, but in a perfect world, rather, where Hollywood isn't the way it is now. But in a perfect world, that'd be cool, in theory. But yeah. But I do not trust anyone in Hollywood anymore. So my hope is they never touch Alan Scott or any of the characters, honestly. I just hope they stop making superhero movies in general, because it's like they're never going to get them right. They're always going to get them wrong. Yeah, because they've proven it time and time again. But all right, I should be good without the reference for now. Got what I need. Shall I move all my greens out of the way real quick? Sorry from this guy and this guy. So I might need them later. All right. Okay. During the late night host was a Green Lantern? No, not the late night host. No, Jon Stewart was the Green Lantern from the animated series or the Just Like cartoon. Although in the comics, well, I think in the cartoon they kind of established that it was Jon Stewart who was the first Human Lantern, but then mostly because of the controversy surrounding Hal Jordan at the time, I think that's kind of why they went with Jon Stewart. Just because at the time Hal Jordan was Parallax, he was a villain for a little bit, so they made Jon Stewart the sort of the main Lantern, and then they brought in Kyle Rayner, and eventually they did give a cameo to Hal Jordan in the animated series, but it was a little bit later on. So, but in the comics, it was the first, at least Human Lantern from the actual Green Lantern Corps, because I think Alan Scott got his powers differently. But of the Green Lantern Corps, Hal Jordan was the first Human Lantern, then came Guy Gardner, then John, then Kyle, then Simon, Baz, and then Jessica Cruz, and then whoever else came after, because I did not follow the newer DC Comics runs. So, although I heard there was a couple new Human Lanterns, which I'm just not really interested in. So, no, I tried digital art a while ago, but it just wasn't for me. It's just a little bit too much work to, because I don't know, just adding different layers and stuff like that on the computer and whatnot just kind of was just not really for me. Just kind of, I just prefer traditional work over digital work more. Just easier for me. Okay. Although I will occasionally bring in my pieces onto the computer and just do some little just color touch-ups a little bit here and there, but that's mostly just like doing like basic like photoshopping and stuff like that. But for the most part, I don't really do any digital drawings by hand or anything like that. From like start to finish, like pencils, inks, and all that. I've been doing traditional my whole life, so it's not really something I want to. And so I was just like, don't really want to, because it's kind of a lot of it's just like a learning curve. You know, you kind of be a bit more patient with it. All right, this marker is just doing weird things. All right. Might need this guy. My youngest started with that pen and ink, and then now does digital. Nice, nice. Yeah, I'll just do a little bit more here. Yeah, I just didn't really like doing digital. It was just kind of like, at least because it might have been just because of the tablet I was using. So I gave it away gave it to my sister a while ago. But like, I guess because it might just be because my tablet wasn't really all that great, because I couldn't actually see this, because like with Mac in the 90s, he has like, an actual screen that he can actually look at, versus with the one I had didn't have it was just like a black sort of, it was like a mouse pad, but, or I don't know. You just couldn't really see what was on the screen. You kind of had to look up and down. Like, it was kind of a very jarring sort of a thing. Just wasn't really for me. But maybe if I tried out with the kind of tablet he uses, then maybe I might reconsider. But for the time being, I'm sticking with digital, or not digital, with a traditional art. It's kind of like how I roll. How I roll. Just kind of, But yeah, this is kind of like a last minute sort of a piece for Valentine's Day, because I just did not have enough time last week to really work on anything. And I already had this one kind of already ready to go. So I was just like, yeah, let's do this one. Just put a heart around it. And it's Valentine's themed. But I'll definitely have something planned for next year. Be a bit more organized next year, hopefully. But this year is going to be mostly just like a catch-up year, because I didn't really get to finish a lot of pieces I started last year. Just because I really focused on my diorama work last year, so I didn't really get to so I got to do some inks on some of my stuff, but I didn't really get to do any actual colored work and finish off some of those pieces I did, or started rather. So that's what this year is going to be mostly about, just me kind of finishing off a lot of the stuff I missed. So and I'm just going to finish that off here. Just try and blend that into the green a little bit more better. There we go. Just helps to make it look more natural. All right, let's kind of add a bit more here. Awesome. I wanted to love, so cool with her heart. Yeah, she kind of did. That was kind of her story in the cartoon, where she's kind of learning to understand emotions and all that. And she learned it from the angriest character in the show, the Red Lantern, which is kind of funny. But they had a really good story in the cartoon. So I just forgot the bottom of this heart. Hold on. Correct outline that. Yeah, that was a really good show, the Green Lantern cartoon. I really wish it got a second season. There's a lot of really good stuff they were setting up. But old Cartoon Network said no. But they're kind of continuing this story a little bit in Young Justice, but it's not. It's just not really for me. I would have preferred, because they're kind of continuing a Razor storyline in the show, but I kind of would have preferred to see that story fully fleshed out in the actual Green Lantern cartoon, not in Young Justice. But yeah. All right, later, Deadman. You too, Mrs. Deadman. Hope you have a lovely evening. Let's finish off this stuff here. All right. That show should have had done. Oh yeah, you could have done like with Green Lantern. With Green Lantern, you could do like so many different things story wise. Like one things I would add actually is actually show him like meeting the Justice League. Like that's one of the things I would also kind of do a little bit of in the cartoon. Is actually bring in some of the Justice League characters. That way you can kind of properly set up Blackest Night at some point down the road. But yeah, there's a lot, but there's still a lot you can do without the Justice League characters. But that'd be one thing I'd kind of bring in just a little bit. Like that'd be cool. That'd be really cool to see him team up with the Flash or Batman or Green Arrow or a Superman crossover sort of thing. Like they could have done so much with Green Lantern. Like because they already had like Hawkmen, like the Thanagarians in that one episode. It was a really cool episode as well. Although I was kind of hoping in that episode it was going to be Kilowog who took down the big guy, like the big boss that Hal had to fight. I mean, it was a cool scene for Hal, but I was kind of hoping to see Kilowog really shine in that moment, but he ended up getting his butt kicked. So, yeah, and I also really love the way they portrayed Kilowog in the show, just because they kind of because like the way they usually portray Kilowog is he's either the sort of hardened sort of a drill instructor, or he's sort of the lovable giant sort of character. And then, but for the animated series, they kind of did a nice sort of mix of both worlds, and they kind of gave him that softness, but also had that toughness to him as well, like sort of going for him. So I like that bit about. That's why I liked him. It's probably my favorite version of Kilowog in animation form, to be honest. Although there aren't really very many versions of Kilowog in animation, because they don't really do much with Green Lantern animation. So the thing these morons of today don't understand about Teen Lantern is that you can do that book forever. Green Lantern is that you can do that book forever and not hit Earth once or something. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, you can do that. I was just saying, like, if you wanted to go to, I think that if they wanted to set up Blackest Night, I think it'd be good to have a couple episodes showing him with the Justice League or whatever, just so they can kind of establish that world. Because there's a lot of really key characters that Hal Jordan meets that play a massive role in the Blackest Night arc. So if they wanted to do that properly. Yeah, there's a lot of characters that could have brought in, like Sinestro, they had Sinestro in that one episode, but they didn't have him, make the Sinestro Corps just yet. He was kind of still a Green Lantern. But, like, you could have brought in Indigo 1 and show like some flashback scenes with him, her, and Alvin Sur, because they had a very close friendship in the comics. Because basically the Indigo Lanterns were created to be sort of a contingency plan for the Guardians. They were kind of, because Alvin Sur didn't really trust the Guardians fully, because he was kind of concerned for what they were going to do after the Blackest Night prophecy was fulfilled later on, and so he needed like a contingency plan in case they tried to take over or whatever. Because for all that he knew, maybe they were just using the Green Lanterns as a tool, a weapon, and then they were just going to be done with them after Blackest Night. So like he was like, all right, we gotta create like a contingency. I cannot talk today. I have a really fucking dry throat today. Cost of living in a cold area. But yeah. So that would be really cool to see more lantern colors and stuff like that. As well as more GLs, because I would have liked to see more actual alien lanterns and stuff like that, like Lyra, because they all have like their own really cool backstories, their own cool like little cultures and stuff like that, where they come from, and their own ways of using the ring. Oh, I just dropped my cap. Where did my thing go? What the fuck? Hold on. Where the fuck did it go? God damn it. All right. Shit. Give me a second, guys. All right, I think I have a used or older marker here. I'm using it somewhere. Where the fuck did it go? All right, we're back. We're back. Fucking Cap has a mind of its own. With Green Lantern, there is an equivalent of characters and more out there than Earth to do stories about. Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of really great characters that aren't just from Earth, you know. All right. We're gonna add some different shades of colors. We're gonna add some pinks and stuff. BO5. I believe I got a refill for you, so I should be good to go here. If not, I'll have it on standby in just a second. But I should be good. Just want to add some like pops of color here, which just kind of makes me miss. This stuff kind of makes me miss watercoloring, because doing space backgrounds were a lot more easier, a lot quicker, and a lot more. Just a lot. And it just always ended up looking a lot better than with Copics, in my opinion. Although I'm still kind of relatively new. I've only been using them for like about a year and a half now. Or maybe 2 years now. Almost 2 years. Yeah. Tank and dumb, which I don't like. Yeah. Use a bit to pull back, and yeah, I agree. But as to what they would do after Blackest Night, I would hope that, because would be an actually Brightest Day, because what was done is that kind of sucked. Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to think this one might need a refill pretty soon. But yeah, like I was saying, there's a lot of really cool lantern characters that aren't just like the your typical human lanterns, because you obviously they had Mogo in the show, and Tomare appeared at one point, a couple points. You had Iolande. Yeah. But and what they could have done, they could have introduced what's her name? Katma Tui, because they were going to be bringing in Jon Stewart pretty soon. That's what it seemed like, because when in the I think it was like the second to last episode, where Guy Gardner kind of mentions that they chose a new human on Earth and his name is Jon Stewart. And then there's that part in that scene, they make that joke about the news guy, where Hal Jordan's just like, wait, the fake news guy's a new Green Lantern. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, this guy needs a refill really quickly. Let's see, BO5. Let's do this real quick. But actually, a really fun arc they could have done as well in the animated series would be to do the War of the Green Lanterns arc, where basically the Lanterns, where basically Krona basically takes over the Green Lantern power battery, And by doing so, he's able to control the other Green Lanterns in the universe. And so it's kind of like a mind control thing. And so Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, John Stewart, and Kyle Rayner, they all kind of assume different lantern color rings. So like Hal Jordan took the yellow ring, Guy took the red ring, Kyle took blue, and then John Stewart took the indigo ring. So I thought that was a really cool storyline. That'd be kind of and I think that would be a lot of fun to actually see in a natural cartoon form. At some point during the run. That'd be cool. Also, one of the things I really liked about the show was Carol Ferris, actually. I think they did her character really well. Because a lot of times they sometimes will make the girlfriend character of the hero sort of obnoxious or annoying or whatever. But with Green Lantern, they made her really interesting because she wasn't someone who tried to hold Hal Jordan back from his mission, and that was one of the things I really liked about her character was that, in that episode where she sort of breaks up with him in a way, but she does it because she realizes that Hal Jordan's mission is to be a Green Lantern. That's what I kind of liked about her. That she's like, your life as a Green Lantern is more important and bigger than our relationship. It's more important than that, But obviously, at the end of the season, yeah, she was really good, and she was really funny at some points as well when they brought her back for the episode where they fight Atrocitus. When they brought him back near the end of the second. I guess I kind of consider the Manhunter arc a second season. I always kind of split them up because it is basically a second season because it's obviously a whole new arc for that show. But obviously, it's all considered one season. But because the first half of the season obviously is all about the Red Lanterns, and then they transitioned over to the Manhunter / Anti-Monitor story, which, to be honest, they kind of nerfed the Anti-Monitor to make it a little bit more weaker. But it's not that hateful, I don't think. He was still powerful, just not as powerful, in the comics that he was in. But he could always come back, maybe he downloaded his memory somewhere before he died, or before Aya tore him apart at the end there. But he could always come back. It's comic books. But they actually made a really cool reference to Alan Scott, actually, when it was in the Steampunk Lantern episode where Hal Jordan kind of gets trapped in a different dimension, and he meets this steam lantern who's kind of like a guy who was using some technology, which I think it was kind of implied that it was left behind by either Alan Scott or I can't remember how he made the technology for his suit or whatever, but in that episode they kind of mentioned, oh yeah, there was this guy we had a green guy called Green Lantern come by here, but he was wearing a red cape and a red shirt and purple cape or whatever. And Hal Jordan's like, that definitely doesn't sound like one of ours. So that would have been cool too. Would be to see Hal Jordan and Alan Scott crossover as well in the series. That'd be really fucking cool. But yeah. Well then, I was okay with that. Yeah, that was really cool. That was a really cool little Easter egg. They also did Larfleeze at one point for the one episode, which he was kind of nerfed too a little bit, but I kind of understand why, because it seemed like they were. I'm not going to try and act like I know what was going on behind the scenes, but it definitely felt like they were trying to, get the show done as much as possible. It seemed like they wanted to do more with Larfleeze, but they couldn't because the show was getting canceled. So I understand why they didn't really make him as powerful as he normally is. They're really, because Orange Lanterns are really. Orange Lantern's extremely powerful because he can do because basically he can once he kills someone, he kind of takes their essence, and so he can kind of turn them into his own little army of undead people essentially. So he could easily invade an entire planet and just conquer it instantly, because all he has to do is kill everybody, one person at a time, then that guy becomes part of his army, and more people he ends up killing, the more larger his army becomes, you know. So that's why he's really dangerous villain. But he's also kind of funny. It's also kind of funny because he's not someone who really goes out of his way, unless it's like for a specific reason, to attack people. He's like Gollum. He's like Gollum. He's kind of like always kind of hanging out by himself most of the time. Like he's not really all that interested in conquest. He's more just interested in acquiring things because he's a greedy Orange Lantern. But if he really wants something, then he's obviously going to do whatever it takes to get it because he can. But yeah, they couldn't do full on Larfleeze, but they still got the basics down for his character. So. But yeah, actually the episode they introduced Sinestro for the first time was actually really cool as well. They got Ron Perlman to do his voice, which is awesome. Even though Ron Perlman isn't really the coolest guy in real life, but he does a good job voicing bad guys. So, and he was really good at Sinestro. I'll give him that. He had a really cool, like, calculated voice for him. And I really like the way they kind of introduced Sinestro as kind of being, like him and Hal Jordan being really close friends, or Hal Jordan like really liking the guy because they're both kind of on the same sort of, because they're both kind of guys who like to bend the rules and whatnot. Like they like to kind of, you know, they don't like to play by the rules. They're all kind of like all about bending them. But then when Hal Jordan found out that he killed that alien that they were trying to, you know, capture and whatnot in that episode, where that alien was basically taking control of their minds and whatnot, which was a really fun episode. It was a really fun one. But like I like that part where that was the part where he, because kind of, it's kind of hard to explain. It's a little bit involved, but they basically what Sinestro does, because he tries to how do I explain this? But if you know that episode, you know what I'm talking about. Like he kind of, what he does ends up killing the alien that they were trying to reason with at one point, and then Hal Jordan's just like, dude, you just killed this motherfucker. It's like, we're Green Lanterns, we're not supposed to kill people. He's like, I didn't kill him. I just didn't save him. It's a little Batman Begins type of thing going on there. But I like that because it kind of helped set up, like, you know, his Hal Jordan's like sort of perspective on Sinestro as a villain, you know, or sort of start. That's where it kind of starts to change for him, where he starts to realize that, you know, there's just some things he won't. There's some rules he'll bend, but there's certain rules he just doesn't bend. That's kind of the whole thing with Hal Jordan versus Sinestro, who's willing to bend any rule, you know, as long as it gets the job done. So I really like the way they're setting that up, which would have been made for a really good payoff, I think, in later seasons if they ever got the chance. Yeah, that was a really good episode. I also really like the Babel episode. It's the one where Hal, Kilowog, and Razor, they're all kind of stranded on that one planet because their rings they lost all the charge in their rings, so they had to kind of go on foot into this sort of a, I guess it's kind of like this, like, you know, lawless sort of society planet that they were kind of hanging out on for a bit before their rings could fully charge and whatnot. And because of the rings, the rings kind of translate their languages. They couldn't really understand each other throughout the whole thing, so they had to kind of communicate verbally, or non-verbally rather. And yeah. So I always thought that was a really fun and really cool episode as well. All right. Kind of getting somewhere. Yeah, it was a fun episode too. Kind of scary. Well that they lost their universal translators. It was great. Kind of like the Darmok episode. Yeah. Interrogated it to death and Fort throughout the EMT part of his job. Well, yeah. Yeah, exactly. That was like one of the things that's kind of like one of the things I was really liking, the way they were kind of setting up that rivalry between him and, or future rivalry between him and Hal Jordan. Which that's what I would probably focus on a lot in next season. Would be if I was to continue it, I'd probably focus on the relationship between Hal and Sinestro, as well as introducing John Stewart, and then kind of build up to eventually the Sinestro Corps War and whatnot. That's kind of how I would do things, anyways. Then obviously you could obviously continue Razor storyline a little bit later if you want, or just continue that right after. I'd say save a Razor story for a little bit later on. Like if I was to do if I had like 5 seasons after season 1 of Green Lantern Animated Series, that's probably how I would do it. Like kind of just like let Razor do his own thing for a bit, kind of add a bit of mystery to the show and start developing other aspects of it, and then eventually bring them back in, bring back the old cast. The old gang, so to speak. Yeah, I really need to start doing some more Lantern pieces this year. I really want to do like an Atrocitus one, a Saint Walker one. Indigo 1 would be really cool. Larfleeze. Really want to do more characters like that. But yeah, Indigo 1 would be really cool to kind of introduce as well. As I said earlier, you could do like a really cool like flashback type of episode as well with Abin Sur and whatnot. So much possibility with Green Lantern. So you know what? I'll probably need some paint a little bit later on just to do the star effects real quick. But we'll do that last. Save it for later. All right. I'm going to blend those colors together now. The mid-tone color. Then we can start bringing in some darker shades of purple. But yeah, I'm starting to think I might end up trying to test out the waters of mixing watercolors with Copic Copics at least, for my pieces. But I'll have to look up a lot of tutorials on that before I go ahead with that. Just to see, make sure I'm not making any mistakes or anything like that. Let's see. Also, would like to see them bring back Atrocitus. I think he could. I'd like to see more Atrocitus, but he'd have to end up on the because I believe his red ring got trapped on Zamaron, the Star Sapphire's world, so he'd have to come back. So he'd have to somehow break free and make his way to Zamaron or get his ring back. So it'd be kind of cool if they actually introduced Dexstar at this point, like have him be the one that breaks out Atrocitus. That'd be kind of cool. Bring the kitty cat. That's what I want to see. I'd also like to see a little bit of character development for Bleeze, actually. That'd be kind of cool to see more of her as well. So, I'm a big Redliner fan. You couldn't tell. Love those guys. But yeah, Bleeze is a character I actually really liked as well in the comics because she had a really interesting backstory. Well, in that backstory, that kind of involves the Yellow Lantern, so they'd probably have to change up because there was a Yellow Lantern that kind of tried to capture her and kill her and whatnot, and then she ended up killing him, which I think he was trying to like rape her or something like that in the comic, and he was trying to make out with her, and then at that same moment she got the red ring, and then she kind of spewed napalm blood into his throat, and that kind of killed him. It's kind of funny way to go out. But yeah, that's a character I really want to draw as well. She's a really cool character. She has a really great design. Okay, we'll use this guy. Bring this color back, just kind of blend it in properly. What the hell is going on? Right. Here's any weird things. Might need to restart it after this stream. Here, I'll tell you this one. Got much juice in it. Or maybe not. Oh, it's worse. I think this way. Get some darker tones in. Hey, Corey and Power. How's it going, guys? We're getting close to it. We're just kind of working on the space part, and then we gotta do the gray tones on. I just started doing the space before because I wanted to make sure I blended it properly with the actual aura around her. Which I might actually have to touch up just a little bit over here. Just a little bit much, a little too much there. But yeah, we got a good bit done already. It's a very simple one to do, honestly, because she only has a few colors on her body here. Just a couple shades of green. So we're actually making pretty good time, actually. It usually just takes me about an hour, 2 hours just to get the body done. All these characters, so it's kind of refreshing. Here, let's go all the way. Megatronians. Try. I've only ever tried drawing once, and she gave me an okay, though it. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, I used to draw lantern characters like all the time, like back in the day when I was really getting into Green Lantern. The ones I used to really draw the most were like an Indigo 1 and Atrocitus. They're the most fun to draw for me. Because Indigo 1 had a really cool design. She had a really, really cool design. And Atrocitus is like one of those characters I can actually just draw from memory at this point. So I've drawn him so many times. Love that character. Just so cool. One of the coolest designs, coolest concepts. Just fucking cool. Alright. I'll use this guy. For parts of that. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it, but I have to try a lot more. There are only 2 of my own characters I can even try to draw from memory. So I got a lot of practice to do. Well, yeah. That's all it really is, honestly. Just practice, and you eventually get better at it. I need to blend that better. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Let's try this guy. Okay. This guy. Nope. This was kind of dying on me. Use that. VO4 might be good here. Yeah. There we go. I think I'll do it for the space here. I'm pretty good with this. Just gotta blend the green a little bit more into the purple. And then we'll move on to the gray tones, and then we'll be doing the. Well, we gotta do the. We'll do the stars last. At the very end. Let me grab some paint for that. Just create a very quick sort of a space effect, or a star effect rather. It's actually really easy. It's actually a really easy effect to do. Actually, I'm not very good at monster. Well, I'm good. I'm great at doing monsters. They're easy for me. But yeah, but they can be. They can. A lot of things can be hard to do from just memory. But like if I'm at work or something like that, and I need to draw a character, like I can usually the ones I usually end up drawing is like something like Batman or at the very least I'll get something started for a certain character because like sometimes I'll need reference for it, but I don't want to waste my phone battery or whatever at work. I sometimes need it. But yeah. But yeah, Trust was one of those characters I used to be able to draw like, on my break, like without any memory or without any reference. I was just like, I just drew that character so many times. Drew that character. So it's like I was like, oh, I know your design off by heart. Just dropped your S. Let's add a little bit of a green. Only problem I'm really having is just this line I put here. I should have held off on that because now I can't really show the aura very well there. So I might have to fix that up in a minute. But overall, I think it's turning out pretty well. It's not that distracting, but still noticeable. I've been messing with Shane Davis' Rex 23. Ooh, nice, dude. It's so difficult, but I can't get that. Just gotcha. All right, that should do it for the background. I just need to grab some grays, and then, you know what? I want to fix up the green in one area real quick, and then we can move on to the grays. So kind of like last time when I did the what was I did? Hold on, close that stupid thing up. The last time I did a mix for the Grimlock one, I did a mix of toner and neutral gray. So we're going to kind of do the same thing here because I didn't really have as many shades of the gray I was trying to use for toner gray. So real quick, we're just going to have to fix up the arm bit here, just so it kind of matches the green effect we did for the legs here earlier. We'll move on. And I went with a little slightly different shade of green for like the shoulders and the hands, just so it kind of stands out more as being like the actual lantern sort of powers, because I wanted to kind of create a little bit of a difference between her like her skin sort of for lack of better terms and her actual like lantern abilities and stuff like that, even though it technically is all kind of the same thing, but I want to add a little bit of contrast there between that, because it's all kind of like just created from hard light energy, but from a visual standpoint I thought it would look a little better, at least for my style anyways. All right, that was the shortest and easiest little effect I did. All right, let's grab the T0. And start laying in some grays. Hey, Bozet, how's it going, man? Oh, my guild completely missed this. No worries, man. We're still rolling for a bit, hopefully. shadow there. Really start a shadow there. Trying to add a little bit of a shine sort of effect to it as well. Don't want to do too much. She is supposed to be a very sophisticated sort of robot here. She was designed by the Guardians, so. Actually, I might add a little bit of a purplish tint just to add a bit of character to her a little bit here. Just a little tint of it. Or the very, very light sort of violet blue. Just to kind of contrast with the purple background here. All right. Move on to the T1. I'll just pull them out real quick, so to speak. Green and purple generally do go well. Yeah. Well, it's just it's a light sort of shade, like this kind of shade. It's kind of like a grayish sort of purple. So. And yeah, green and purple do work really well together anyway. So. But I just wanted to add a little bit extra sort of character to it. Or middle, if you will. My hands are like hell now. Yeah. Use the 2. I think we'll use some of the darker shades of neutral gray just for some of the shadows here and there. But not going to use too much of that just because I want to have a more clean figure. I don't have too much shadows going on. Because they're supposed to be lanterns, supposed to be bright and all that. Not supposed to be in shadow like a Batman type character or something. Supposed to be bright and colorful. battle fatigue. Probably. Knowing his line of work, so to speak. There's a little bit darker shade with a neutral 4. And that should be enough. Just get a little shadow in the boobs. Robo boobs. Not too much. And we'll just kind of blend that in with a neutral. Yeah, I'll use neutral 2. Oh, you know what? I didn't add to this arm. Fix that. What the fuck is this on my computer? Stupid ass pop-up thing. BRB, must grab some grub. No worries, man. No worries. Got a little bit of time before I add the stars and call it quits, so to speak. That should be enough. That should do it for that. Then we'll kind of cap it off with some BV31. You not roll around like a dickhead. Just going to add a little bit of a hint of the purple. All right, I think it's going to do it for Aya here, at least for her gray tones. And all that's left is her little eyes. It's going to make her pop out a bit more. I'll use some, I guess we'll use this. Yeah, nope, you're dying. You're done. Almost. Well, we'll use some blue greens for the eyes. I think it'll work a lot better. First, gotta get this guy out of here. Yeah, a little bit of Mega Man vibes. Very similar designs. All right. And this guy. Just add a little effects here. Just to make it pop out just a little bit more. We'll just add little highlights to her skin or metal skin. Now she has a little bit of a white sort of, I guess, sort of pupil. So, actually, I want to use this. This one's kind of used up. What's this guy? So little dots here. Ooh, not too much. Ew, I like that. I'll let that dry. Well, actually, it's not too bad. I think I have a bluish one of these. So this guy might help me. All right, we can touch that later. But I need to grab some paint and a brush real quick, so I can do the stars. This guy. Trying to find a used brush. I don't have to use one I'm already using for something else. All right. Just use you. Or nope, not this one. All right. First, I'll move all my markers out of the way. Actually, I need something to block so I don't get any of the stars on her actual face or anything like that. Grab this. Yeah, I'll kind of just like block off sections as we go. There. We'll just whip out the paint. Just need a little bit. And what we do is, I better show off what I'm doing. So I basically put some little paint on my brush, and then you just kind of flick it onto the part here. And that creates a really quick sort of star background. Maybe a little more paint on it. And the harder you flick, the bigger the stars end up being. I think it works better with the other acrylics I was using, but this works fine. And we got a really quick little effect there. Now, kind of move on to this side. Just gotta make sure I'm not getting any on her. Yeah. All right, didn't really plan this one out very well. And okay, just make sure I don't get any on the board so I don't end up getting any on her. Do that. Oop. That's good. And you can't even see what I'm doing. There we go. A little bit. Obviously, I'll go back in with some whiteout, just add a little bit bigger stars here and there. But this is a really quick way to kind of just get a very quick, all the smaller ones in the back. They're just kind of poking out. I'll try not to get on that part there. And hopefully without messing anything up, go this way. Well, that should be good enough. Let's do a little bit here. Oh, that's a little too much. Ooh, shit. God damn it. All right. You know, maybe it's just a big star, big moon there. How about that? I think I just made it worse. I'll make it work. We'll make it work in just a minute. We'll play off of it. Turn into like a big star in the back. All right. Where I put you? That's the problem working with paints and these kinds of drawing. You gotta make sure your hands are clean before you do anything else. All right, I'll grab some towels just a second. Just gotta be careful which fingers I use, so to speak. All right, be really careful here. Here, I'll wrap my finger in this toilet paper, this towel. That way I don't get any paint on anything. Yeah, we're gonna just turn this to a big, like, little star here. Or not. Here, looks a little weird. Yeah. Shit. Kind of fucked that up. It's all good though. It's all good. I will make that work. Here. Just touch that up. Should be able to go over with some markers in just a second here. Just making happy little accidents. It's all good though. Actually, water-based brushes might be good here. This fix. Just want to add some more here. Then we'll do slightly bigger with the. Oh, I'm not even showing half of what I'm drawing. There. Yeah, so I made a little bit of boo-boo over there. That's okay. I think it's minuscule. We'll just add like a little star here. Kind of cover up my mistakes. So you gotta roll sometimes. This one's being weird. There we go. And we'll kind of just add a little bit of white here, just to kind of, I want to continue that sort of shape there. And once that's dry, I'll go over it with some green. That should help make that part pop a little bit more. All right, my hands should be dry enough, so I should be good to go. Not a star, it's a galaxy. Exactly. Yeah, this is what I was trying to do. It's all good now. Okay. And I just want to touch up the eyes really quick. It was a little awkward there. Nope, not this guy, because it sucks. Be careful. This guy sucks too. What the fuck? Why y'all sucking, so to speak? Oh, you're way too fucking big. Fuck that, so to speak. Just want to touch my little boo-boo from earlier. All right. That should be good. Enough. And quickly just add in some little highlights on our body, so to speak. Jelly roll. And then we should be able to wrap this one up pretty soon. Time is it? 5:30. We did pretty well, actually. Usually takes me till like 7. Finish drawing. So. All right. That should be good enough. Let's add a little green here. We need a darker shade here. It's kind of weird. All right. I may also fix it up later with some pencil crayons. be a better option here. To add a little bit of texture, or a little bit of depth, rather. Oh, I shouldn't be missing the chat. Glitter, exactly. Sparkling turned out great. Yeah. It's kind of like the whole plan here. So, yeah, it's starting to work out just fine. Here, actually, the camera's just like at a weird angle. Hold on. Oh, there we go. There we go. Much better view of our lady lantern here, so to speak. Now I'm just going to go ahead and fix up the line work a little bit, and then we should be able to call it a wrap there. Put you guys away, so to speak. And my 0.3. Find it. That's. I should use this guy. Just to kind of tidy her up just a little bit more. We should be good. To that area, use some highlights. Depth of field. Maybe. Also noise on the green / purple. Yeah, I really do like the. Yeah, I think the green. I think I made a really good choice on the color for the space at least. Yeah, because sometimes with space you can kind of do just about anything, but I think that purple really it's supposed to be a bit more Valentine's-esque, so it should have a bit more of those vibrant sort of pinkish purple colors going on with it. But also kind of really helps but it's also a really good contrasting color with green because it's very similar to yellow, and yellow is obviously the complementary color to purple. So it's kind of how it works. If you know like basic like stuff about like colors and which ones are about on like how complementary colors work and how they work with the primary colors, it's really goes a long way, Just knowing basic stuff like that, it really does go a long way when it comes to this stuff. Imagine this with motion art background. Ooh, that'd be kind of cool. Don't want to do too much with the fingers. Obviously the helmet. There we go. That was kind of I'll grab my circles real quick, just to kind of make the symbol there stand out a bit more. I think I'll use a smaller pen, but not that one because it sucks. There we go. Okay, I think that should be it. Actually, there's a little area right here on her hand that I just want to touch up really quick. Just looking a little awkward. There. Just small little area. That'll make a world of difference in the end, I think. All right. Hey, Mads, how's it going? Sorry, we're kind of about to wrap it up pretty soon. But you know what? I'll do a couple of stars just to let Mads soak her all in for a minute. How about that? You know what? I'll actually show off the piece I was working on while. For those who don't know, Mads was doing a live stream earlier, and she was drawing Hot Girl and John Stewart, Green Lantern, which was an awesome piece. So, and during that stream, I was actually working on. Well, I was kind of starting because for me, it takes a while for me to really find a pose, especially for something where it's multiple characters. But I found one piece of artwork that was kind of, I think it was from Brightest Day or Blackest Night, but it was from the ending where Aquaman, because obviously in Blackest Night, Aquaman was dead, and he came back as a Black Lantern, and then later on he came back to life for real, and there's a moment where he kind of reunites with Mara, and that's kind of how I was kind of basing that one off of. So I'll show that off real quick. It's not fully done. It's not really 100%. I still need to fix up Aquaman because he's looking a little bit awkward on it, but I'll explain that when we get there. But yeah, I think it's going to do it for me, for our girl here. Just add another little star here. All right. Let's quickly sign this one, and then we'll show off some of the artwork I was working on behind the scenes. And this Sharpie is shit. What's up with my Sharpies? There we go. And I'll sign my name or my initials. There. Little hearts. There's my little Valentine's Day piece. So, but before we end the stream, I'm just going to quickly go through some of the things I was working on. Oh, no worries, man. No worries. Yeah, where did I put my sketch? It's right underneath everything, as always. But here's the piece I was starting. Here, I'll move this in case I get ruined. But this is the piece I was starting with Arthur and Mira. I got to touch up some things here on his face here and some of the posing, but this is the general sort of pose I was going for with these two. And I think I made his head a little bit too big. But yeah, that's the Arthur and Mira. I'll show some of the other ones because I started. Well, I showed this off on Twitter, but I'll show it off here for those who didn't see it. But I started this Mira single piece on her own there. And then I started inking it a little bit. I might have to, but I'll probably change it up a little bit when I do the final colors for it. And that's what I was kind of using with the red marker here because I didn't really like the way the hair was going. So I just kind of made that to sort of indicate the difference or what lines I want to really use for the final one. And then over here we have Donna Troy still being worked on. Gotta touch her up a little bit. And there's a little Daphne love because I still love the character for some reason. But I can't stop drawing her. She's adorable. She's adorable to me. So, but yeah, that's gonna do it for me today. So. Yeah, Don Troy. Yeah, I gotta do more DC characters. I didn't really do a whole lot of DC characters last year, so I want to kind of fix that this year. But yeah, there's our Valentine's Day gal for the year. Hopefully next year I'll have a better, more planned out Valentine's Day piece. But this will do for now. No Cassie yet. Yeah, I gotta do Cassie as well. I gotta do all of them. I want to do all the DC girls, dude. I want to do them all. So to speak. But yeah, so that's gonna wrap it up for me. I'll probably be doing the Ninja Turtles piece next weekend, and then after that we'll probably do Shredder because I have those ones kind of almost ready to go. I just finished transferring them yesterday, so they're kind of ready to get inked up throughout the week, and then we can color the boys once again, because we did last year, or no, a couple years ago, or has it really been that long now? But we did the Ninja Turtles versus the Robins pieces a couple years ago. So we're going to kind of bring back the Turtles this year, or next week, rather. And yeah, it's going to do it for me. So on that note, I'm going to call it a wrap, and I'll just find us a clip to end us off on. I need some, I need to start bringing in some DC clips. I mostly have just Transformer stuff. Doesn't really seem fitting for the thing we're drawing today, but yeah, let's go with the drunk. We're gonna do this one, or no, do Shockwave one. We'll do the Shockwave one. So yeah, thanks for everyone for dropping by. I saw Corey Corey. I saw Power, Grumpy, Mads, Bosa, and just trying to make sure I catch everybody. I saw someone else earlier. Oh yeah, Deadman, Mrs. and Mr. Deadman. Thank you all so much for watching and dropping by. I really appreciate it. And until we meet again, I will show you the way out, so to speak. All right, let's get the Shockwave clip going, because I'm rambling now. All right, later, guys. I'll see you guys next weekend.
You will not escape the mighty Shockwave!
Hey, mighty Shockwave! Take this!
Shit! You bitches! Get back here!
Bye-bye! Loser! You suck!
Those bitches!
Decepticons! Optimus Prime's gonna kick your ass!
I'm going to beat the shit out of Optimus Prime, and then I'll do the same to you, Bumblebee!
Bumblebee? I'm not Bumblebee. You're not gonna beat the shit out of anyone today.
Oh yeah?
You're yesterday's model, Megatron, ready for the scrap heap.
Oh, I've never heard that one before, Prime. Got any new material?
Junk. That's what you are. Junk.
Still doing the same set, I see.
Floptimus Prime!
Well, Prime, that's big talk from a robot that can't even fly.
Oh, yeah?
Do you need to borrow a rocket pack? Thundercracker, pull a rocket pack out of your ass and give it to Optimus Prime.
Fuck you.